Good evening, friends. Jai Hind. I am Major Mohammed Ali Shah, and I have the proud privilege and honor to welcome two very, very special guests. And why I say special, I will tell you why as well. Firstly, they're doing great work in the healthcare department. They're doing research. They are contributing a great deal. We have with us the co-founder of the Twin Health, Dr. Maluk Mohammed, who needs no introduction at all. Sir, thank you very much for
Pleasure,
spending time and welcome to the show, sir.
pleasure
And
is mine.
secondly, we have one of my favorite television personalities, I still call her, because I've had the honor and privilege, especially in the year 2019. I used to go to her studio when she was a news anchor with a leading news channel. I used to be with her, and I used to be like, "Wow, Sana Khan's show, awesome! She's really so." I'm very excited to get her on the other side today. We will talk about their contribution to the health department, and of course the research they have been doing on diabetes and such things. Sir, firstly, let me begin with you, Dr. Maluk. Sir, tell me, how did the idea about Twin Health about to come about in your mind, sir?
Say to tell the fact, it is two episodes which really made this happen. One is as part of my PhD work at IIT Madras. I was the first researcher to work on the mobile computing, and as in last chapter of my thesis, I'm going to spoken about how technology can be used for precision treatment. As a case study, I'm going to spoken about within last chapter of thesis, and in fact, I published that work also in one of the high impact journal. And later, after completing my PhD, I had a sad story in my life. My son had a liver failure for unknown reason when he was 8 years old, and that made me, in fact, then we airlifted him to Delhi, and in Delhi he underwent a liver transplantation. My wife was a donor, and though we were from an educated family, that's where we learnt a lot on the medical science, right? And doctor were talking about, say it was a almost a 16-hour surgery, and after the surgery, typically when surgeries are done, we all feel that hey, we spend money. Now he's alive and he's going to be saved, or touch wood. And right, in fact, I could still remember we all, the entire family, around 20 of us, were there in Delhi, stationed there. And after the surgery was over, we went and ordered Kareem's biryani and all ate sitting in the hospital, thinking that everything is done. And that's where, as days passed by, I started to learn more about this particular complicated surgery. Doctor said that she used literally the same word. It is like getting your son married to me, because lifelong these patients has to be treated only by specialized physician. If something happens, you cannot go reach out to a regular doctor. They need to reach out to us, and we are the one who needs to guide them because they undergone a liver transplantation. There was a jolt in what I heard. Second thing, what she said was, lifelong he has to undergo a medication to keep his immune level suppressed. Which again, they hit another blow in. And I asked the question, Dr. 8-year-old kid, you are asking him to take medication for lifelong. Will it not have other side effects? He said, of course, no other go, Maluk. He has to take this medication if he has to be alive. It will have any chemical to the body is bad for that matter. Like, forget about this medication. Any medication to the body is bad. That was second blow, right? And third was, as you are suppressing the immune level, they are prone to infection easily. They're prone to infection easily, right? So you need to safeguard them in such a way that they don't get into conditions. They don't get exposed to places where they get infection quickly. The third thing what I noticed was, in the early days of the surgery, I could see they did the blood work daily, and they were looking at multiple parameters and titrating the medications. And eventually, after 2 weeks or so, the blood work started to become alternative day. Later, it started to become weekly once, fortnightly once, monthly once. So I was there for almost 4+ months there, getting him stabilized before I could bring back. And then doctor said that every 3 months once, this 27 parameters has to be monitored, and the report has to come to me, and I will keep titrating the medication. The immunosuppressive medication has to be titrated. Then I asked the doctor very curiously, doctor, You are trying to say that earlier I saw that every day you are doing blood work and you are trying to titrate the medication. Now you say that every 3 months once you will be able to do the blood work and the titration of the medication is done. Isn't that the body behaves the same throughout the 3 months? She said, of course, no, Maluk. Body behaves unique at every instance. It's completely unique. What blood work, if you had done half an hour back, it's completely different from what you see now. It's completely different. But the medical science work with approximation and generalization. We presume that the body functions almost the same for a substantial period of time. And we take a call. Being a researcher, fresh out of doing my doctorate at IIT Madras, after that we came back and I was trying to conceptualize a model. And with this problem statement, what I had understood from her, I started to understand. I wrote an article about it, and I created a mathematical model. And what I was trying to prove was, no other go, transplantation has to be done for people, and in such transplantation go, no other go, they need to be under immunosuppressive drug for a long. Is there a way that we could offer a prescient solution by which the impact on the medication can be reduced, the side effects can be reduced? And I said that these transplant patient, you will imbibe a sensor to the patient's body. The sensor will pick up relevant data from the body and send to the mobile phone, which is part of the middleware. And the data flows to the diagnostic center, which is again the part of the middleware. And it computes and sends back the data. And the middleware, understanding through the algorithm, will precisely tell this is the amount of tacrolimus that you need to take at this point of time. By which I proved that 47% side effect will be reduced. It's huge. Literally huge, right? And I conceptualized the scientific thing and I wrote an article and submitted to the Indian Science Congress. And this paper won the best paper award. So I started to talk everywhere. And before starting Twin Health, my avatar was I was running education institution. I was also sitting as a director of the institution. I'm a hardcore academic researcher those days. And wherever people call me, I go tell necessity is the mother of invention. I had a necessity. I conceptualize this idea, right? And in one floor where I was talking about this, the co-speaker happens to be the great man, Dr. Jahangir, the founder of this company, of the present for the other founder of the company, Jahangir Mohammed, right? And interestingly, he was the one who invented Wi-Fi through mobile phones.
Okay.
I keep telling him, Jahangir, you are the one who spoiled the society. People are telling mobile phones, right? But look at the revolutionary solution that he had brought in with the AT&T Bell's lab. When mobile phones were introduced, he got this idea, so he quit his job and started his own company, and that's the idea that we are now enjoying, right? And later, that company, after 6 years, he sold it and he started the next venture on. He is a man, if you ask me, had revolutionized the world on IoT. Big accomplishment, right? You name any automobile across the globe, starting from India's Maruti to Tesla. You name any communication network across the globe, starting from Airtel, Jio, Etihad, AT&T. Everything is powered by the IoT of Jasper. The concepts of digital twin, which is very popular nowadays, AI, IoT, which is very popular nowadays, that was conceptualized by his company called Jasper. He was the founder of the company, right? And the best part of it is the popular autonomous car model that exists in the world, right? And the great man, I don't want to name him, has worked with him for more than 10 years in building the autonomous driverless car, which is powered by the concepts of Jasper through a concept of digital twin by putting sensors in the car and building a digital twin of it. And Boeings are powered by the digital twin of Jahangir's Jasper, right? And interestingly, Jasper was acquired by the network giant Cisco for $1.48 billion way back in the year 2016, right? And he was the co-speaker, and he was talking about how IoT can be used in the common man's life, even in cattle feeding. He was talking about it, right? And that's where we came together. And looks like after the acquisition of Jasper by Cisco, he aspired to build a solution for mankind. Can we do something on healthcare was his aspiration. And so it triggered, and we started to talk to hundreds of doctors. And in fact, in a particular comment in India, in a dinner table, when he was having dinner with his family members, he found out of 6 people, 4 people were diabetic. That triggered further. And we started to think through, work through, spoke to hundreds of doctors, and we found every doctor telling, can you build a solution for diabetes? Diabetes is seen as a lifelong progressive disease with lifelong suffering of symptom, and no one knows when the complication is going to strike them badly. The typical death, like a heart attack or a stroke or a cancer, Alzheimer's, most of it is from this, right? And being engineers, we were so excited and we started to dig deeper, learn a lot, and we hired a couple of young doctors because being engineers, right? When we talk to people, doctors should not laugh at us. Hey, come on, what the hell are you talking, right? So we hired a couple of junior doctors, and when we read a lot of medical science, any queries we go talk to these doctors like a kid, and they were answering us. And ultimately, we read so much of medical science, and we were able to understand, interestingly, all these so-called diseases like diabetes, hypertension, obesity, PCOS, fatty liver, were not disease at all. They were all conditions. They were all symptoms. And that is the reason why the beauty is here, the root cause of the entire problem happens to be the dysfunctional metabolism. When I mean dysfunctional metabolism, metabolism is nothing but 1,000 plus biochemical reaction that takes place in the human body at every instance of time. God's creation was so beautiful that no two human has the same metabolism. Forget about no two human having the same metabolism. We ourselves don't have the same metabolism throughout our life. What we are 10 minutes back is not what we are now. It is so complex and dynamic. Because of its complex and dynamic nature, we did not have a way to precisely measure the metabolism. So doctors are completely aware of it, and we cannot blame anyone. As we did not have a way to measure the metabolism, doctors were treating the symptom and not the disease. The so-called medication, if at all you take diabetes, the high sugars in the blood, from metformin to insulin, were to remove the sugars from the blood and not to solve the problem. The hypertension medication or any medication for that matter, they're all trying to solve the symptom and not the disease. Now what happens is, the symptom pretends as if that it gone, and the disease persists. That is the reason why it will tend as if that it is showing a progress, but it will go aggressive and become bad. From bad to worse to horrible. Right? And that's where we thought. Then say, we started to dig deeper, further understand where does the world exist? Advancement in technology, advancement in medical science. Is there not any solution which is existing, right? We started to look for. And we interestingly found in UK, Dr. Roy Taylor, an amazing scientist, academic scientist, has done a study, a trial called direct trial, where he proved that weight loss can help people to reverse diabetes. He was the man who conceptualized the idea of reversing diabetes. And the model that he was able to prove was, give 800 calories of diet for an individual on a given day. Starve the body. And he proved that 47% of them can reverse their diabetes. That was the thesis that he had. And ultimately, many people started to pick up that idea, and they started to create a lot of dietary programs. Keto diet, paleo diet, and all these dietary programs started to come in, right? And the truth said is, unmonitored dieting is evil for a disrupted metabolic body. I'm repeating it because this is very, very important. People need to understand. Unmonitored dieting is evil for a dysfunctional metabolic body. When someone has metabolism is fine. You and me, if we are normal, we could do whatever we want. Once we are distracted in metabolism, please don't go for dieting. Don't blindly go for intermittent fasting, this diet, that diet, right? So when you cut the source of sugar, sugars gets normalized. There's no rocket science or magic, right? But at the expense of what? At the expense of elevated cholesterol and end organ damages. Because again, what is happening is, you are trying to again solve the symptom, the sugar problem. But that's not what is important. You need to go solve the root cause of the problem. Can you solve and correct the disrupted metabolism? Can you go correct the mitochondrial disorder? That's where the problem is to be solved. You are trying to solve, instead of medication, you're going to solve using something else, which will lead to other complication and make it bad, right? And we found a company in the US who were trying to solve using a keto dietary program, which we said nothing, let's not go through that way. So at this time, when we understood, being an engineers, any company who is going to build a solution to measure the metabolism will be the future of the world. They'll be top three in the world in next 10 years. And the aspiration is, can we be that company?
Right, sir, right.
Can we be that
I
company?
love the way you explain, sir. I love the way you explain because there's one ad which has got little before YouTube videos. An ad comes. There's a lady you must be knowing. I don't know who comes in with a very alarming voice, and she rather of pacifying you, you get alarmed hearing her. She says, "Do you know by so and so that we will be?" It's actually good news she's giving, but by the way she's communicating, you get psyched. What she's saying. So
Yeah.
her what she means to say is diabetes can be reversed, and by some year she has specified. So I wonder if you or Sana can connect with the lady who I'm talking about. I don't know her name and all, but she says she's a doctor, of course, and she says, "Do you know by so and so?" And you get scared. You feel she's saying the other way around. She's saying
Hmm.
diabetes cannot be controlled. It cannot be reversed. So you get that impression. That's communication again.
So we came together, and the genesis of what Jahangir has accomplished is earlier Avatar and Jasper through the concept of digital twin. We put together things, and we were able to quickly conceptualize. And that's where we invented the technology first of its kind in the world, called the whole body digital twin. And this whole body digital twin is revolutionary, which we are able to completely transform and give life for people, right? And the interesting stuff here is, in an automobile or in a jet engine, you could throw hundreds of sensors and try to collect data and build a digital twin. It's so easy, right? In a human body, how can you do it? Can you make a people lie down for months together, put sensors, right? The way we want to build the solution is, we need to build a solution which is friction free, right? It has to be easy. He has to be on the move, right? And as we dig deeper, one of the fascinating, interesting stuff is, in an automobile, the sensors were not able to talk because each sensor transmitted data which was independent by itself. Whereas in a human body, the fascinating and interesting thing is, we need to really thank the Almighty, right? God's creation is so beautiful. Every piece of data from a human body gets connected to the other data. Every piece of data gets correlated with other data. So for an engineer, this is golden. What happens is, you just need 2 to 3 sets of data with a pattern to completely create what it matters. So here in the whole body digital twin, we picked up 3 to 5 sensors depending on the body's condition, and that's sensor data. Second, as it's the medical science, as it's a treatment offered by doctors, the golden standards of the doctors are blood diagnostic data. Second set of data is the blood diagnostic data. The first year, every quarterly once, the individual is asked to do a set of blood diagnostic work done. And third is the causal data. What's my energy? What's my mood? What's my preference? What do I eat? Right? With these 3 set of data, almost 3,000 plus data points are collected from the body, and it correlates across all these data points to precisely create a mimic of a human body, a digital twin of a human body, right? And that's where it was golden. We are the first company in the world who have a technology to precisely measure the metabolism. Now we have measured the metabolism. So having measured the metabolism, how to solve it? Are we going to invent a medication? Is it that twin has come out with a new medication to solve the problem? No. Right? Interestingly, when we are all born, you tell me, Dr. Ali, how did you grow up when you were born? We were all born. How did you grow? You grew up with what? Mom fed us, right? And without our knowledge, we are doing some activities. We are moving our legs and hands, right? From the kid, we were doing that. As a newborn baby, you start to move your hands and legs, right? So activity. Third, we slept very well. And default, we were breathing. The body requires only these four. The body requires only these four. We picked up this. Now, the body which has come to us is a damaged body. So now you cannot knock off all the medication on a given day. So the digital twin, in addition to the four precision medication, we added precision medication. So the medication can be titrated based on how the body is progressing, how the metabolism is healing, where the recommendation goes to the doctor and doctor acts on it and it is handled, right? So precision medication, precision nutrition, precision activity, precision sleep, and meditative breathing. With this 5, we were able to retract the damaged body to a state where they are like a newborn baby. The system becomes like a newborn baby, right? Here, medication we all know. We start with the medication and it gets titrated as the body progresses, right? I said precision nutrition. You may be wondering, hey, this guy said it's not a diet, it's not a dietary program, like a keto or a paleo diet, but what does it mean? Right? Is it that a supplementary program? Of course, no. Here is something very, very important. The food that we eat has 87 factors in it, categorized as macro, micro, and biota nutrients. Macronutrients are the most popular, which we all know, right? The carbohydrates, fat, protein, right? And the entire fat diet, which people talk about the dietary program, focused on the macronutrients. But the truth said is, scientifically, truth is, macronutrients are just a source of fuel to your body. The actual energizing factor that is responsible for the growth of the hormones, the growth of the immune system, the growth of the cellular system, the growth of the bones are actually attributed to the 47 micronutrients that comes from the food that we eat. Right? So the food, what we eat has 87 factors categorized as macro, micro, and biota. Right? Macro are just a source of fuel. Micronutrients, though they are micro in nature, deficient is also bad, excess is also bad. The so-called vitamins and minerals. Here in this, out of 47, maximum that we all know is 10. Sodium, potassium, iron, magnesium, right? So few vitamin A, B, C, right? But there are 47. The beauty here is where the complexity starts in, right? These are categorized as water soluble and fat soluble. In case of water soluble, you need to replenish in the body daily. In case of fat soluble, each of it has its own half-life. Some can be stored in the body for 3 days and offer the support system. Some fortnightly, some 3 months, some 6 months, some even 1 year. The fat soluble is completely unique by itself. Even that's a simple mathematics matrix problem which can be solved. Here comes the real crux of it, right? I keep talking everywhere about this. The highest micronutrient required for a human body in a given day is potassium. It is 3,800 milligrams to 4,700 milligrams of potassium, which is required for a human body, and every day, because it's a water soluble mineral. Assume that there's a piece of tomato. I'm getting you one, Sana one, and I'm having one. And assume that the tomato offers 300 milligrams of potassium. And I'm asking each of us to eat one, this piece of tomato. Now we are eating it, which means that we have consumed 300 milligrams of potassium. Am I right?
Right, sir.
Can anyone here, you or Sanat, can anyone tell what was the bioavailability of potassium in our body? The beauty is no one can tell. It can be 10 milligram, it might be 150 milligram, it might be 270 milligram, whatever it might be, right? So the bioavailability of just not the potassium, the bioavailability of any nutrients for that matter depends on the other nutrients which is present in the body at that point of time. Right? And what is it all about? It is a biochemical reaction which decides the bioavailability. This biochemical reaction, which is because of hormones, enzymes, the biochemical reaction of the other micronutrients, all these decides what is the bioavailability. What does the digital twin do? The digital twin's capability is to measure the metabolism. What is the metabolism? The biochemical reaction. So here at Twin, the meal plan recommendation is not by individuals, but it is by the digital twin. The digital twin will tell me you eat this food in order to ensure that you balance the nutrient required to heal your metabolism. Right? And that's what's here. But for technology, you will not be able to do it. Right? And the last piece is the microbiome. The truth said is human is made up of trillions of cells. And the best part, I don't know whether you are aware of it, is the bacterial cells are more than the human cells. Bacterial cells are more than the human cells. And when the bacterial cells are more than the human cells, you need to understand that is the reason why when we die, we start to decay quickly. Right? And so there are species of microbiome which has to be ensured that we need to balance it. Right? The best strand that we all know is from curd, which gives 5 strands, but that's not sufficient. Right? The good bacteria has to be far more than the bad bacteria for ensuring the metabolism is regulated. Right? So the digital twin recommends a meal plan which ensures that the 87 nutrients are balanced. Right? And here it is so simple that it is not like a calorie counter or something of that kind. We don't look at the amount. We just ensure that typical serving. Some in a calorie counter they say, I ate 2 idlis weighing 100 grams. All those are not required here. The power of that's the power of digital. Last is the activity. Many people say, hey, I walk 10,000 steps a day. I do 10 kilometers cycling. In spite of it, nothing is working for me. I'm not able to control sugars. I'm not able to reduce weight. My BP has not gone. Nothing is working, right? All those are good. Activities are good. More is fine. But the truth is, be smart. Understanding your body, the digital will tell what activity you need to do to fatigue your muscles to regulate your insulin resistance matters. It just we look at that holistically. You need to look at the conceptualization of the body holistically, right? So digital twin precisely understands my body and let me know what is that I need to do for a given day, right? So if you look at my digital twin now, it will tell me now, you can see here, right? One minute, let me show you. So depending on the afternoon lunch, it says I need to walk 3,933 more steps today. And this may keep titrating. Now I'm dissipating energy. It may go down now by the end of the day, by the end of the session, right? So that's the novelty of what we are trying to do, right? And so by these treatment factors, typically what happens is when a member gets into the platform, we optimize glucotoxicity, lipotoxin, inflammation. And if he is a diabetic patient, they are able to stop most of the medication, almost all medication, including insulin, in a span of less than 75 days of time. More than 70% of people are able to stop.
How much time, sir? How much time?
Less than 75 days of time, more than 70% of people are being stopped. So far, that's what we have been seeing. We are seeing in our platform, right? And almost more than 70% of people will achieve their A1C less than 6.5 in less than 90 days. But the beauty in twin is, though their sugars are normalized, less than become 6.5, and all medication stopped, we don't call it as a remission or a reversal or a cure. We say that they are normalized that condition. The second quarter, the digital twin works to optimize the other chronic condition. The third quarter, the digital twin works to optimize the organ health. Very proud to share that we're the first company in the world who had proved that the microvascular complication can be reversed. In the last quarter, the digital twin ensures that the beta cells regenerate and the insulin resistance has got regulated. And now we say that he had brought his metabolic memory to an optimal state. And now we claim that he had remission this condition. Is it the end of it? No. You need to traverse for a longer period of time to ensure that he is able to sustain the metabolic memory in an optimal state for a longer period of time to move the body from the state of remission to reversal to cure. But the most exciting and interesting thing is when the individuals come into the platform, the digital twin understands and identifies the list of food items which are intolerant and classify those food as red food. But the beauty is, and those are not included in the meal plan, as he travels through the journey of healing, the red food start to become orange and green. So he is able to go back and eat the food he was favorite. He did not let go of food for a long. So if you see, though I did not have any condition, right? When I started the program, many of the foods were red for me. Now all those food have become green now. You could see here. All these are green now. Including potato porridge is green for me, biscuits are green for me, appam is green for me. South Indian, I'm a typical South Indian. All these foods are green, become green for me. And when I started the program, these food were red, right? And because you are healing metabolism, it's not that you need to let go of food for a long. In a typical dietary program, you will be asked not to eat this, not to eat it for life, and that is the reason why it's not sustainable, right? And at Twin, we are not here to control sugars, manage diabetes, or control or help to people to reduce weight, or control BP, or control PCOS for that matter. Our focus is to go solve the root cause of the problem, which is the disruptive metabolism by which we are able to holistically solve the problem. This body, in most of the cases, right, they are seen in silos. This body cannot be seen in silos. Everything is interconnected, and that is the reason why Twin is not a diabetes reversal company. Twin is a company to heal the dysfunctional metabolism by which, you name any condition for that matter, we are able to solve it. Best part, what we had proved is, we are solving infertility. They're solving infertility, right? People who had failed in IVF, they're able to, they get into the program, they're able to become pregnant just by correcting their metabolism, right? And that's where it is. So hope I've taken a lot of time, but
No,
I
no.
think
It was very educative and very useful hearing you, sir. It was a delight. I mean, it's the only thing that I did not know of, and many of our viewers still benefit from it, sir. Very nice of you, sir.
people
Let's
think
go
people
to
think that it's all about diabetes. It's more than diabetes. It's more than that. Say, we have proved scientifically that hypertension can be reversed. We have proved scientifically that fatty liver can be reversed, right? And all those, what I'm trying to tell, it is scientifically proved through a randomized control trial, both conducted in India and US, and published in all the prestigious journals across the globe. Our solutions are endorsed by ADA. And we proved that more than 90% of our people are able to normalize their heart health, for which American Heart Association has awarded us, not once, twice, because we proved we are able to sustain it. So that's a credibility what we had done, and our program is completely evaluated by IIT Madras Research Park. They formed a committee. They enrolled a couple of professors and a couple of people, and they understood completely. They did a 2-year study of what and how does it work, and they did complete due diligence of what it is and how it is, and they did a press release saying that this is one of its kind in the world. Very proud to share that we are doing our life's work. We are able to make people happy and healthy for life. Let me stop.
Sir, sir. Sir, superb, sir. It was great. It was education actually hearing you, and I wish we could have. I could have gone on hearing you further, sir. In fact, honestly. So let's go ahead. You see a very, very pretty face on the screen right now, and she's much more than that because Sana is a little embarrassed right now. So the very fact is, Sana is so much into her contribution to the healthcare department is immense that when the COVID was, we were all panicking about COVID and the COVID vaccination. The first
Yeah.
person, the only name that came to my mind was Sana. And I call up Sana. Sana, please, yeah, you got to help me out, yeah. You are so much into healthcare and such things, and you got to help me with the vaccination. So I said, it's very simple. Just go on the website, book a slot, and you will get it. So I kept booking it, kept sitting. Oh, I couldn't get it. Finally, I go ahead and I call up Sana. I said, thanks a lot, and so she guided me with that. So let's
Yeah.
move ahead and go to Sana because Sana I know as an amazing journalist. That's what I know of Sana. Okay, so now I'm going to be seeing a different side of Sana. So I know Sana as an amazing journalist, and as I mentioned, one of my favorite television personalities. Not as an actor, but well, TV anchors be acting karte hain, so it's okay. We can call that as well. So, and especially 27th February 2019, when Group Captain now, that time Wing Commander Abhinandan Vartaman had crashed landed into Pakistan, and he was after a few days he was coming across from Wagah border, biting cold, chill. Sana Khan was there, braving out the winter, the cold.
I remember. I was there for 10 hours. I ensured that you went home.
Awesome.
Right. Sana was there.
So,
So,
Let
Dr.
it
Dr. Ali, I need to set this. I would love to share to the audience. The public should also know this. Someone will be wondering why the hell journalist has moved to a healthcare company, right? I should tell this
Yes, that
secret,
was
right?
my question I was coming
I
at.
should tell
Yes,
the
yes.
secret. I don't know whether she'll tell or not, right? So it's a treatment offered by doctors. Twin is a. It's not a fancy product like another product, right? It's a program offered by doctors. So interestingly, I met this great man in a common platform where we were speakers, Professor Dr. Mohsin Wali, right? The great man who has been a physician from three presidents, former presidents of the country, and a cardiologist by profession, right? And I was excited to hear him. And next time when I went to Delhi, I thought I should go meet him in person at his clinic. So I went there and he said, Doctor, I'm really amazed the way on your professional excellence. And you heard me talking about the revolutionary work that we are doing. I would love you to partner with us. And I would love to sign you as an advisor. And he was excited. He was happy for it. He said, "This is the kind of work I'd been looking for, because I had been practicing the traditional standard of care for a long, and I'm always for technological advancement and the latest in things, right?" And at that time, I asked. After the conversation, he offered tea, and I asked, "How about your family?" He said, "I have a daughter and son. My daughter is a journalist. Blah blah blah." That's where I thought, let's hijack this journalist. And he was excited. He thought it's good for her to move to such a company. But he shared her number. I texted her, but she did not so easily give time. So I
stars,
proposed.
the stars don't give time so easily, sir, after
Yeah,
all.
yeah.
Okay, okay.
She took some time. I then we got connected on Sunday, and I just gave her a goosebumps of what kind of a revolutionary life's work we are doing, and I just shook her. I thought it's just 10 minutes. How can I make her excited about our work? And I told the story, and she was excited, and she thought about it, and she took some time because it's not so easy to jump on a career, right? She has been a professional journalist, senior journalist, and taking a completely new orthogonal direction, something new. And she was asking, "What is it?" I said, "Hey, you have been a senior journalist, and the best part is you should look for taking a director of growth, focusing on the B2B channel." And I felt with her contacts and with from Delhi, she could make that magic. And that's where I was able to poach her. In fact, I should use this word. I keep telling people I poached her into Twin, and I'm proud about having her as my colleague in Twin. Samana, over to you, sir.
Thank
That's so
you.
nice
So
of you,
yeah,
sir. So nice of you. So,
you
Tara,
know,
just a minute. Just before I allow you to speak,
huh.
you know, Dr. Malik had the vision and the foresight of picking up talent, the right talent, the best talent that he could have got. And sir, I think both of you, in fact, are very lucky. The organization is very lucky to have Sana, and Sana is also very lucky to be a part of that fine organization. Yes, Sana. Let's talk to you.
Yeah, so basically, just taking on from what Dr. Maluk was saying, and thank you, Dr. Maluk and Ali. You both have been so kind in, talking about me as if, but really, I think I found my calling, and this is something which is, I feel, needed for a country like India, where we're a country of 1.4 billion, and out of that we have, billions of people, millions of people who are suffering from chronic metabolic conditions. In fact, the figures are startling. 101 million people in the country currently are diabetic, and more number of people, close to 136 million, are pre-diabetic. That means they're going to be diabetic sooner or later. That's a given. People battling hypertension, 315 million. When you start looking at these numbers, and when you have a solution like Twin Health, I mean, it's baffling. Why should people in India not adopt technology to better their health? In fact, as Dr. Maluk pointed out, we are looking for, we are looking for Twin Health to be the future, where India, which is a young country at the moment, but more and more young people are falling prey to heart attacks. And especially, the situation is bad after COVID. People who got COVID, they are coming up with newer conditions. For instance, 30-year-olds are getting diabetes, which was something which was never heard of before. There might have been exceptions in terms of people getting genetic diabetes type 1, but now the situation is quite crazy. And people really need to, realize, Ali, that, now is the time when we start working towards curing our people. Because tomorrow, if we have a young population, but if the population is not healthy, Sorry to say, but the country's progress really depends on it. At a time when the Prime Minister, the government is working towards a Vision 2047, they're talking about a developed India. There is not going to be a developed India where the workforce is not healthy. Imagine a situation where you have millions of people admitted in hospitals because this is an epidemic, believe it or not. I mean, look at the numbers. It's really crazy, and all these conditions end up in other complications. For instance, if you have diabetes, you automatically, will develop hypertension, or if you have hypertension, you will develop conditions, other conditions. Obesity is one such thing, which is quite worrying. So we really have to look at twin health as a unique solution. There's a lot of talk about artificial intelligence, but Dr. Maluk would agree that people really have a very warped understanding of what artificial intelligence is and how it can't be used in isolation. We are human beings. We're not a car. A car can still work using sensors and everything, but a human being is very, very fragile. We have to be very careful. So we've put in a lot of scientific research over the past couple of years before we actually launched a product like Twin Health in the market. So all our research work is published in top journals like Lancet, the American journals, the American Diabetes Association, in fact, which is the topmost body in the world. They've endorsed Twin Health, saying that yes, this is a credible platform. And in the US, we are already picking up because of the system over there. In India, the insurance is something which we'll talk about in a bit, but even those numbers are dismal. Why should India not look at universal health insurance, which is meaningful? Why should the government not start taking things a step further? This government has done a lot in terms of providing various schemes for people, right? They've given people free treatment under Ayushman Bharat up to 10 lakh rupees, which is quite big. But another step in the right direction would be tell people the importance of health insurance, tell them how they can, save costs by improving their health by using a platform like Twin Health. And in the future, like Dr. Maluk said, that our mission is simple. We want to make people healthy and happy. We are here to change lives. And how will we do that? We'll do it when people want to change, when people realize that they want to be happy and healthy. Uh, when mobile phones came in, who could have thought that everybody today in the country will have access to internet, will have access to a smartphone? I mean, we were paying 16, 17 rupees for an incoming call per minute, right? But that's the power of technology. We anticipate that if Indians realize the importance of correcting them, their health by addressing the right issues, by addressing the root cause, which is causing them diabetes, which can actually, we can help them stop their medication. Imagine that. They won't have to take medicine all their lives long, even if they're suffering from diabetes. They wouldn't have to be admitted in a hospital and being told by a doctor that we'll have to amputate your foot because your foot is not healing. You have a diabetic foot. We need people to really understand the importance of a program like this. And that's what we're trying to do through people like you, to try and create awareness so that people know that they can actually save money, they can improve the longevity of their lives, they can make people around them happy, they can invest that money in the right area and not just keep investing them on hospital bills, doctor consultations. And by the way, doctors are a very integral part of what we do. Without doctors, how we work. Until and unless a doctor tells us that this is the medication you must take and this is the medication you must stop. So we are very much aware of the sensitivity of an Indian patient and the sensibilities of the Indian patient. So we have a fabulous team of doctors. We have country's top endocrinologists, diabetologists, physicians who are actually partnering with us and trying to tell people about advancements in technology. And Dr. Maluk has been working way before I joined the organization in trying to create that awareness and trying to tell doctors how important they are for us. And when it comes to Dr. Maluk and Ali, you both will agree. When it comes to the size of a country like India, we are 1.4 billion people. Imagine the doctor-patient ratio. Can you imagine a doctor giving you precision treatment? Can you imagine a doctor spending as much time with you, telling you how much you need to sleep? First of all, the doctor will give you estimates because the doctor also needs some data to figure out what is it that your body needs. So will you be able to get precision medication, precision sleep, precision nutrition? I'm afraid not, because of the numbers. That's where twin also comes in, where we help the doctor uh, figure out through data and tell the patient exactly, give the patient more attention, get better results, and tell the patient that, look, you just do this. All you need to do is just eat what your twin is recommending you, sleep to the best of your ability, and I will make sure that you will reduce your medication over time. All I need is a quarterly blood work from you to see your progress. I'll see your cholesterol levels are slowly becoming normal, your fatty liver is becoming normal, your hypertension medication, you might not have to take it after a couple of months. So it's a very, very systematic process. And of course, it takes into consideration effort from us, as in the member. You need to make certain lifestyle changes, and which are not very tough. Imagine a person who is not a doctor but who is able to tell you exactly what it is that you need to do, how much sleep you need, what you need to eat, exactly according to your body's needs on that particular day. The person should do it, because this is literally like, we are trying to reset your system. We are trying to help you. So that much effort, I think the person needs. And yeah, we can talk more about it, Ali, if you have more questions.
You know, no, I have a question. I'm enjoying hearing you. In fact, great education for me and great eye opener. You spoke about artificial intelligence, AI, and I
Yeah.
think the two greatest challenges that the world is facing today is artificial intelligence, and Dr. Maluk will agree with me, and the other is natural stupidity, sir. So these are, so, so these are the good. But in fact, yes, why not? People had not thought of using technology to better the health. Sir, I have a question for you. You are an illustrious alumni of IIT Madras, and I have spent enough time in Tamil Nadu, in fact, and I was there at OTA Chennai, in fact. So I had gone to IIT Madras. So people have this, and I had a lot of friends from IIT Madras when I was in IIM Calcutta. So a lot of people from from IIT Madras used to come to IIM Calcutta to study management further. You are a doctor as well, sir. So you obviously, the perception is you would have studied engineering at IIT Madras. So did you practice medicine after that, or you are a PhD doctor?
You
That's one.
confused him, Dr. Maluk.
I literally have confused. Say, I'm a hardcore engineering by profession. I did my engineering in the
Okay.
Department of Communication, ME, Masters in Computer Science, and a PhD in the Department of Computer Science and Engineering in the area of mobile computing. I was a hardcore engineer, and only
Because
after
the way you explain everything, it was we were listening to you very attentively. I'm like, okay, even that's happening. Okay, the way you explained it was really phenomenal.
So, Dr. Ali,
Phenomenal.
Dr. Ali, I would love to, because you are teaching something very interesting, and I had good experience. When I go walk into the clinics of doctor to explain about twin in early days, now it becomes, because now doctors know that what does twin do. In early days, when I walk into the clinic to meet a doctor, I go introduce myself as Dr. Maluk. I don't say I'm an engineer or something. I say I'm Dr. Maluk, a co-founder of a company, and doctor will start to listen to me. And always, I'm also pretty cautious in what I talk, because literally, I also don't want to overshoot on the professional excellence of a doctor, though I know, right? But doctor will completely believe that I'm a medical doctor, and they'll hear it to me. And once they become comfortable, then I'll tell I'm not a medical doctor. I'm a doctor.
Good well, sir, good
That
well.
worked very well. Now, with what they had learned, seen me, doctors regard me in a big way, because they had seen me, because I talk with data, and I had seen,
Yeah,
I read a
you
lot of
both of you, sir, both of you, and Sana. Of course, when Sana was speaking, she gave with numbers. So many million people suffer with this. So many people get cured. So many people. I was like, okay, this is the journalist Sana speaking. Used to always. She was known for numbers. She had a way
Yeah.
with numbers, facts and figures. Was always accurate. So
Yeah,
I
but
went.
I spoke with numbers because also the statistics are so baffling. They are so startling. The numbers are so big.
So
Exactly.
the scary data is, Ali, more than 50% of Indian adults have some condition or the other. It is scary. It is painful to hear, right? And if you just think for a minute, right? all these chronic conditions, though people don't realize, right? We are all wired in such a way that, hey, I'm 30, 40, I'll become diabetic, I'll have hypertension. I will learn to live with it and I could take medication. But they are not looking at what kind of complication that it is going to knock them. And so 30 years of hard-earned money you're going to go throw there to save your life. But in spite of spending, will you become better? Is your quality of life going to be become better? Right? And at least, right, earlier it was 40, 50 becoming diabetic, hypertensive. Now 30, as Sana said, 30s. People in 30s are becoming fine. See, the data says that in the age group of 24 to 34, 64% of Indian women are suffering with PCOS, eventually leading to infertility. Calamity, to societal calamity. Right? And these are really scary. But the truth is, people are not still realizing. Right? People are not really serious
And
about
it's all around us. I'm sure you must have seen the number of IVF clinics that have sprung up in metro cities. Just look around you. There's an IVF clinic in every major locality. More than one, actually. More than one.
No, there go. So if they are to be, the saddest truth is, it's not an easy process. IVF is terrible, right? And that's where it's say if you go deeper as you start to look at it, right, it is literally scary. It's literally scary. And the data says that in a year, more than 50 million people go below the poverty spending on the healthcare. That's the state that we are living in.
I mean, I've had so many cases where people go to hospitals, big hospitals in metros, small clinics in their own cities, where they are told that, oh, you have a life-threatening condition, you have to spend these many lakhs on your procedure. So get the money, they go. If they're in the village, they go sell their land, they go sell whatever property they have. If they're in the cities, they take loans, which are often very difficult to repay, and there's no guarantee whether that life-threatening procedure is going to save your life or not. And people, like I said, in India, 550 million people have access to healthcare insurance. 400 people have zero idea of any sort of insurance. Imagine. And even that, consider group insurances that are offered by companies. I mean, every big corporate offers their employees a group insurance in which they are covered, their family members, their children, their spouse are covered. But once you leave the job, that insurance cover goes. And here the person is thinking that, oh, I'm insured. But then what happens is, by the time you quit your job, you're over 45. Your premium has already touched a certain number. So you end up paying 55, 65, 70,000 to get yourself insured. That is per person. In an office, you get that insurance in bulk, so that is much cheaper. But you're not in a company forever, right? At some point, you have to leave the company and move forward. So the importance of health insurance at the right age to safeguard your health in the longer run so that you don't have to dip into your savings. And what's better, if the insurance companies are able to tell you, look, we are covering you for X amount of money, but here is a program, here is a wellness program, like a program from Twin Health. They're dime a dozen. I'm not saying everything works, but I'm sure about our product. So here's a program that ensures that you are healthy, so that God forbid you don't need to get hospitalized. If you are diabetic, we will make sure that we improve your condition. In fact, we make sure that you are able to also leave your medication. If you have a fatty liver, you're able to normalize your fatty liver. All you need to do is just follow this program, and we are happy because you're not getting sick, you're not getting admitted in the hospital, and you're happy because your health is actually improving. So we need to actually in the future have a time, have an era where everybody is wearing their health trackers and tracking their own health on the app, and God forbid if there's some emergency, you're able to contact your doctor and tell the doctor what exactly is going on, but not for things that can be prevented, right? I mean, if diabetes can be prevented, why should we not prevent it? Why should we continue to take a drug like metformin, which people think is safe, but you trust me, I mean, you ask any doctor, or you just, I don't suggest Googling these things because Google should never be used for medical conditions. But you ask anybody what are the side effects of all these drugs, the statins and the metformins, the GLP drugs. I mean, you name it. It's all a very downhill journey, Ali.
Right.
And Ali, the worst part of it is, Ali, I'm sorry, just right.
No, sir.
Uh,
So please.
when people start to get into any of this condition, the basics of the taste of the tongue to sex of an individual goes off.
Right.
And we don't
Right.
realize it. Right? The fundamental end to end of an individual goes off. And in the age group of 30, a well grown, handsome person is not able to make his wife happy. Same with the other sex too. Right? And that's the reality. Say, I'll quote a simple example. My dad is 80, my mom is 72, and both had been diabetic for many, many, many years. And now I taught the solution to the world, but I'm not able to support them because they had gone to that stage. My mom, all the four valves are stunted. I do not believe daily she cries out of pain. Right? And my dad, right, say every month we spend lakhs of money, but do they have a quality of life? My dad is immobile. Right? To the best of my knowledge, my dad is immobile for almost 5+ years. My mom suffers with pain for more than 10 years. Right? This is the reality. Right? And this, at least my dad is 80 now, and I'm seeing him suffering. This is now going down. People are suffering at the age of 40. So many friends of us, right? They are having conditions, and they're already undergone a heart attack. Ridiculous. Literally, it is really scary. I don't know where things are. I say that the idea is huge awareness should be given to people, and thanks to the Almighty for giving us the wisdom to show a way to solve it. Typically, many people are trying to go solve the sugar problem. If you try to control sugars, you have failed in the game. The most important is it is the insulin metabolism which has to be corrected. People put a CGM patch and they eat, this fruit spikes and this doesn't spike. That don't work.
That's become actually a fashion on Instagram. That's the new trend where, these influencers, they're wearing a CGM patch, the continuous glucose monitor patch, and then they have food items, and then they show the viewers, their followers, the sugar spikes. Oh, look, my sugar spiked so much, so don't eat this. But that's really not how we must do it.
Never try to control sugars, because anyone who eats sugar spikes, but does the body has a capability to metabolize in less than 6 to 9 units of insulin matters. It is not the sugars, high sugars, which is bad. It is the high insulin, which is ridiculously bad. That's what leads to inflammation. That's what leads to other conditions. It's a big science by itself. Right? We could keep talking about this for a long. Almost we are top of that.
And sir, I would like to ask you. You come from a family of very illustrious, renowned doctors, like your father, Dr. Ali Shah. He has been the physician to the President of India. So, a presidential awardee as well. So, what does he have to say about the entire plan?
You can actually talk to him. He's, like Dr. Maluk said, he's very excited by whatever is happening in the global medical community. So he's still date a student, like most doctors and lawyers are. So I'll find him reading research papers at 1 a.m. in the morning. And I'm sure when he heard about Twin Health, I wasn't there, but he got really excited. And he came home and he told me, look, there's this artificial intelligence backed program, and they help in making people healthy and improving their metabolic conditions. So I really didn't understand much at that point, because what would anybody make of these two lines? But yeah, I said, okay, AI, that's the buzzword, and yeah, great. So he is, in fact, he's so impressed with the program that he is on board as an advisor, and he has many patients who come with kidney disease, heart conditions, obesity, hypertension. So people who he feels can be on a program and are serious about their health. He tries to tell those people that, look, this is the way forward for you, and if you want to really get better, then try making some changes. Then that really depends on the person, how serious the person is, whether he wants to improve his condition or he wants to keep taking medicines. Because a doctor, usually when you see doctors are happy making their patients return to them week after week, right? That's how it's been for so many years. But now I think we need to change the approach. With 1.4 billion people, so many people not really well, battling chronic conditions. The doctors are slowly now understanding that this is the load that they can take, and this is something that they need to sincerely work towards in terms of providing people with technology, helping them get better and reduce their burden as well. Because ultimately, I'm sure doctors also want their patients to live a healthy life and live long, right? So I think that there has to be a change in mindset. There has to be awareness. People should realize, within the medical community, outside of the medical community, nutritionists, physiotherapists, anybody who is connected to wellness. It needs a mindset change. It needs a paradigm shift in the way we think.
Very well said by you. Yes, absolutely. And that paradigm shift is very much essential. And before we call it an evening, and I would like to leave the last word to Dr. Malik, sir. Any last message on your behalf, your organization's behalf, and you can speak on Sana's behalf as well over here, which you would like to throw out in the universe from your side, sir.
So we are there. We are committed to offer the best of the best healthcare services to people who trust us and get engaged in the program to make their life happy and healthy for life. We invented this technology which is revolutionary, which becomes a companion for life, right? And it's just not solving a problem of a person who's damaged his condition. That's where we are moving ahead. Even before someone has damaged, even a healthier person, for ensuring that their metabolism is healthier for life, they are hooking into the digital twin, right? Can every global citizen have a digital twin with them and ensure that they prevent getting into the condition? So we are committed to making people happy and healthy for life. That's what it is, and by which we're able to save trillions of dollars globally, just not in India, and that's where it is.
I
Right?
also want to, Ali, very quickly add,
Yes, of course.
sometime with so much science, so much research that we've done, people actually get confused about what twin health is, what do they have to do, what about the subscription. So we work on a subscription basis. We have quarterly, half yearly, and annual subscriptions. Typically, what we do is if a patient gets in touch with us, a member, we call it a member, they visit our website, they give us our details, they can directly, I'll give you a link to our website. They can get in touch with us and they enroll into the program. They start with a couple of sensors, which is an activity tracker, a sugar patch, which is a continuous glucose monitoring patch, a smart scale, which measures up to 10 parameters. Everything is stored onto the cloud, right? All these parameters, 3,000 data points. Couple this with the blood work that we do quarterly, and we have a doctor which is committed to improving the health of the member, and a health coach which acts as a link between the technology, that is the AI, and the member. So through the app, a member is able to communicate with his or her digital twin. So ultimately, after a couple of days, we have enough data that your digital twin is formed, and then your digital twin starts telling you what is the precision sleep you need, what is the precision nutrition, precision activity, etc., etc. So this goes on, and as the member proceeds in their journey, the digital twin completely takes control of the health and wellness of the person. And at the end of the year, you will have great results, and we take it from there. So, in a gist, this is what we do.
Superb. Thank you so much, Sana. Dr. Malik, thank you so much for your time. And it was truly an education and it was an eye opener and great learning for me and for our viewers. And I'm sure our viewers are going to love this and benefit from your organization, from the Twin Health, and may it grow and may you continue contributing to the health services in your ways. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, thank you, thank
Jai
you.
Hind.
So, what a pleasure.
My
Thanks.
pleasure is
Bye.
ours. Yeah.
Thank you.